Apple has unveiled the iPhone 4.0 OS, and our very own Greg Kumparak was there live blogging it all. Thanks for joining us today. What's your major takeaway from today from this event?
It's pretty exciting because they're finally adding stuff that people have been clamoring for years now. You know, it's the main thing right off the bat is multitasking. It's something that from the very beginning of the launch of the iPhone, being that it's a smartphone, people have been wanting to run multiple apps at one time and have an easy way to switch between these apps. They're doing it in kind of a unique way in that they're forcing all applications to pause besides like a very specific subset. And it's also just a huge selling point. You know, it's kind of something that polishes off the iPhone.
It's only been a few hours since the end of the event, but the feedback from the developer community is already fairly mixed. Some people are complaining that there's not that much flexibility this time around when it comes to using different programming languages for this operating system. What have you heard?
It's definitely really mixed. I mean, there is a pretty big group that is really happy about this. I mean, just on the way over from the event, I got a bunch of text messages. You know, people like, oh yeah, they opened up this new part of the API, or you know, check out, oh, we can do these new functions. We have hardware acceleration now. Great.
And then you have someone like Joe Hewitt, who's a very prominent developer, who says on his Twitter feed, so much for the programming language innovation on the iPhone platform.
Yeah, what a lot of people seem to be upset about is that you can no longer write in non-Objective-C languages and then have something automatically port it into Objective-C. At least that's the way we're interpreting the new language in the SDK, or Apple's new language in the SDK terms, which is unfortunate because it's a direct attack on some recent moves by Adobe. But unfortunately, as a side effect, it also takes out some really good products. Like there's one called Unity 3D, which lets you port, you know, or to make one application and then port it to the Wii and the Xbox, and the iPhone's included. And some of the top-selling games on the iPhone have been based in Unity. And unfortunately, the way that we're all taking it right now is it sounds like that might not be allowed anymore.
What do you think is the potential of the iAd service? I mean, personally, I think it could be a big boon for Apple's bottom line, right? Because they're going to be taking a 40% cut. The developer gets about a 60% cut, and you know they could be running millions of ads per year. Right.
It really depends on how quickly it gets picked up because it's an entirely new kind of advertisement for this platform.
It's very interactive. It's very
right, and that's exactly how Apple's pitching it. It's both interactive and, as they're putting it, emotional. Like they're kind of comparing it to TV ads, how they can invoke emotion out of the viewer, the participant in this case. The case they showed today was Toy Story 3. Kind of cool. You could put that in a kid's game and get kids interested in Toy Story 3. But the downside is that these are much more intensive to develop, I'm assuming, than making a static graphic ad or a text ad, because you have to do CSS transitions and animations and some fairly intense coding to bring up these ads. So I don't think that the guys that are strictly text ads and image ads have to really worry right now.
So it could be a major challenger, but it's not going to completely change the game.
It's going to be a challenger just in the fact that they're taking the same revenue cut, and it's the official advertising means. And so when anything comes out as the official solution, it's going to be tough competition.